Welcome to the Taka Tanni show, aka TT. Thank you for tuning in again, and thank you for viewing our last show. Today we'll be talking about dating multiple partners. When it comes to life, a lot of guys will tell you that spice makes up life, dating multiple women makes it fun. Or somebody would say life is spice, if you're James Bond, James Bond is always having these girls in his movies. Guys think that they cannot eat fufu every day. They think eating the same food makes them a wuss, makes them less a chump. But dating lots of women at the same time makes them a player. In our culture these days, people seem to be embracing the fact that we date multiple partners. Look at like our TV broadcast shows. Flavor Flav, expressing the fact that he can have 20 women dating him, and then he ends up picking one person. Look at The Bachelor. He has multiple girls, there at his beck and call, and they try to win his heart, and then he ends up with one. Should we say they are in that show because they are money hungry? Or they are fame hungry? Question. Let's face it. Men like different things, like dating different partners. It's how they're built. But is sexual promiscuity a norm? Although some women have double standards, when a woman is dating multiple men, it's called weighing her options. But when a man is dating multiple women, they say he's a pig. And they think a man is afraid of commitment. But then, a woman's ultimate goal is still marriage, committing to one sex partner for the rest of her life. So the question is it wise to juggle two or more people in a relationship? Is it worth it? Is it worth having more than one woman? Men, is it worth having more than one woman on your string? Does it make you feel manly, a player, or a pig? It is one thing for you men to go out for casual drinks and movies or pizza with different women every night. But when you start having sex with different women, then you have to be careful, because then you're treading into dangerous minefields. Because there's nothing as dangerous as a woman's claws when she's scorned. So the answer to the question is both yes and no. If we just have to look at the pros and the cons of dating multiple partners. Men will often say they have good parts in dating various girls at the same time. One of the good parts is they become picky. They have the ability to pick and choose who to go out with at each evening. Today, whether it's Paulina, tomorrow Selena, they try to mingle between, they try to find, they have the ability to pick and choose. Then when a man gets to pick and choose, then he gets various characteristics of various women, what they bring to the table. Enables the man to really know what he wants. I think it's a good point. When a man is able to pick and choose the girls, then he knows what he wants. He's able to figure out which girl he wants to spend the rest of his life with. And on the other side, some men just want to pick and choose because they're greedy. They want to have the whole thing. They want to eat their cake and have it. They want to have all these women and do the same things with them. And another good point is you remain a challenge. The man remains a challenge because he remains unavailable, independent. He can do whatever he wants to do. And guess what? Ladies tend to adore that part in men. Any man who is independent, any man who is cute, adorable, self-confidence, he remains a challenge. He's a challenge to every woman. And furthermore, it's an amazing way for a man to end a relationship with a girl by saying, let's be friends. You know, then he becomes in demand. He stays in demand because women like a man who is unavailable, who is wanted by other women. It's a surprising fact, but I tell you, a lot of women are very shallow. They want a man that is not reachable because they want to fight for it. Let me ask you this question, ladies. When a man is so unavailable, or when he's the desire of all the women, what do you think you gain from him? Do you think you can draw him away from the other ladies and let him be all yours? I mean, I wonder. I mean, what do you think? What do you gain? Another positive pose is that the man don't have to put up with your crap. You know, a man that's dating so many girls doesn't have to put up with their crap. And the girls too, they don't have to put up with his crap. So he knows that at every point in time, he can walk in and out of their lives at every given time. Also, some men, you know, think that if they can walk in and out of your life, when the woman knows that they're about to walk, then she starts paying more attention, start catering more for him. So it, you know, sometimes these men actually use these girls, desperate girls, as mothers. Also, the last point in this is men can have as much sex as they want. Dating multiple partners, you know, they can have sex today with Florence, tomorrow with Florinda, the next day with Carolina. You know, they have as much sex as they want. But I'm not gonna lie to you, there are a lot of negative aspects into dating multiple partners. The first negative aspect is it takes a lot of time. You would spend your time going from one date to the other, ending up not concentrating in what is really important in your life. Men, you have work, you have your sisters, you have family, you have things to do. You have yourself to build up to a man. And it takes, dating multiple partners really takes up that time. Secondly, it takes you a lot of money. It's a lot of finances. You need a lot of money to actually go, you know, like, well, I wouldn't say our modern days, but now the men would pay for their own share and the women would pay for their own share. But back in the days, there are some men who still live the traditional way, looking for a wife, spending that much money on dates every single night with a different girl, you know, paying for dinner and movie. You know, it's a lot of expensive. So you don't only waste your time, you waste your money. Also, there's the issue of STDs and AIDS. You know, dating multiple partners, no matter how cautious you are, you never know. You never know at that point, you never know what might happen to you. So as many partners as you date, you run the risk of catching an STD. You run the risk, men, of catching HIV/AIDS. Also, there's the other point of really ruining your reputation, because all the women now look at you as a jerk, which also leads us to the next point, where you might lose a good girl in the process, a girl that might just be your better half. And lastly, women could seek revenge on you. Oh no, you don't want that. When one, two, three women get upset with you for playing with your hearts, because you know women are very fragile, and when you as a man, you start dating 2 or 3 women at the same time, making them believe, you know, each woman is very fragile. So a woman does not really just go out having sex at random. Women are nurturers. So once they nurture that fact that you are into them and they give you their hearts and you mess with it, be ready for the consequences. You don't want the revenge of a woman. There's no fury like a woman's calm. Guys, to play or not to play, it's hard to decide. But if you must be a player, then you have to set the ground rules. That's the first thing. Set the ground rules. Number 2, let the girl know that you're not dating her exclusively. And even if you don't tell her that, make sure you're discreet. You know, make sure you're overwhelmingly discreet. Because when she gets you, it's a war. I know some of you will wonder why TT is giving you this advice, but this is the world we live in. Let's not pretend. It is not bad to date casually. Actually, I would tell men to actually date a lot of girls, you know, casual dates, until you stumble on that person. Until you're ready to settle down. Date, go out, date, have fun. But be very, very upfront about it. Tell the girls you're just dating, you're not ready. Let's see where it goes. Make sure you are specific on the rules. Then, when you stumble on that girl, bam, that's it. No more. No cheating. You know what you called at that time? A man, not a pig. But of course, being honest with a lot of women, you know you're going to lose a lot of them. You know, you're going to have a lot of potential girls run away from you because you're being honest. But it's better to be honest with them rather than lie to them. Because when you're honest to them, thousands will go. Few would be ready to date you casually until you find your mate. And within the few that stay, you never know. You can pick up your mate, your perfect better half in the midst. Honesty brings out the positive man in you, makes you a man, makes you a real man. Men, make a decision. Make a decision. Ultimately, it boils down to you, you know, knowing the ups and downs and making an ultimate decision into whether to date multiple women or not. Making a decision. Ultimately, it comes down to you guys knowing the upsides and the downsides of dating multiple partners. But if you want to eat your cake and have it too, then filling up your space of social life is not a bad thing. But I will tell you, let me part with these words of wisdom. Being a player, it's never a good thing. Doesn't make you a man. Honesty makes you a man. Pick one girl and stick to it. Hey, TT, I'm not saying that dating casually is bad. Make sure you tell the girls the truth. Be honest. Be proud and tell them, hey, I'm just dating. And when you find that person, make sure that person remains. Make sure you build a relationship and stop chilling around. Because the ultimate goal is for you to find your better half. So dating casually, it's good. But once you find that better half, then stick to it. Rules of engagement. Stick to your love. This was Taka Tanni, aka TT, and I can't wait to see you next week.